Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse pregame show with Keith, special guest from Sports Vibes TV. Foxy's taking the night off. Good for him. Everyone needs a break sometimes, right, Keith?
Yeah, especially with the way the Knicks have played recently. Need a little breather.
Yes, man. Yeah. Boy, that game last night. You know, what were your feelings about that game last night?
I mean, it was another tough game. You felt like the Knicks were going to find a way to pull out that victory. And at the end of the game, we just let Donovan Mitchell kind of take over. And it showed that the Knicks don't have the continuity or that player right now that they can really go to down in the stretch and get buckets and get that win. So I think it was just tough. You know, you saw the team fight. The second unit didn't really give us much. We got to see Cam. Cam didn't really impress, but there were some things I saw from him that I liked. He had some defensive plays that really stuck out to me. But other than that, it was really a tough game. Julius Randle, he was one bright spot. Mitch, how did I even start to talk about the game and didn't even start with Mitch? Almost had a 2020 game. Actually, he carried this team so much that he's now going to be unavailable because he hurt his back. So I got to give kudos to him. He definitely did his thing out there. But it was a tough game, man.
It was a really tough game. To think that they went on a 17-0 run in the third quarter, took the lead, and couldn't hang on in the fourth. They just couldn't close.
Yep.
And again, mistakes at the end.
Turnovers. What do we have? 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was a game. You know what? The last couple of games, like the Lakers game too, I feel like that was a game we could have had. I feel like at least, like, is that progress in any way?
I mean, I don't know. I think that's the recipe or the sign of a bad team. You have these winnable games and you find a way to lose them. So stressful.
True. That is true. Well, a couple of things happened today, Keith.
Couple
of things happened. I woke up this morning to some interesting news. Basically, two guys. Well, one of them we weren't even linked to because we didn't even realize he was available. But before we jump into all of that, salute to the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry we got started late today. My computer's acting up a little bit. We already got 40 something people in the chat. Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah, man. Mitch is not playing tonight, and either is Nerlens Noel. Now, there's no news yet on Kemba.
I think Kemba's going to play, though, because I think they sat him out on the first of the back-to-back, so he should be available tonight.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, because they haven't announced it. So, but you never know with him. You know, he gets that tweaky knee at the last second that can really just pull him out of the game. So we'll see. Hey, we surveyed 100 people. Lex, good to see you, brother.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the support.
Absolutely. And hit the thumbs up for us. We really appreciate that. And, drop your comments later on if you'd like. We read them all. And I would like, in case if you're new to the channel, just do a hashtag new. Be awesome. All right. Well, let's just jump into it, man. Let's go right to the trade deadline. We're under 48 hours. The clock is ticking, Leon. And today, 2 big moves happened that actually did impact the Knicks in a certain way. CJ McCollum, who we've been rumored to have legitimate interest in, was traded to the Pelicans with Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell from the Blazers. And the Blazers received Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Tomas Satoransky, and some draft compensation. Do you remember what the actual draft compensation was on this?
I think it was a first in a couple seconds. Let me just double check.
You are correct. I think you are correct. Yes. So that, that was a rumor. That wasn't, it kind of an odd rumor story. And I put a whole video out on it. And you and I, we talked about it yesterday. I could see the appeal, for bringing him in because look at us. Look what happened to us in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like someone like a CJ could really have helped in that fourth quarter.
And got us a bucket when we needed it.
Exactly. And sometimes that one bucket, helps, stop the momentum of the other team, lets the other 4 guys on your team kind of like gather themselves. Something that we saw often IQ do last season.
Yes.
And then Derrick Rose would do that for us.
Someone that can swing the momentum.
Exactly. RJ has been doing that. We saw him. He's come in. Sometimes he'll give you 7 points in a row. He'll stop the bleeding. But last night we just didn't have anyone to do that.
Yeah, last night wasn't really his night either. He had pretty good stat totals, but he wasn't efficient.
Yeah. I actually have some stats of the last 4 games of both RJ and Randle to share with you guys, so you can see how they're doing, and it's pretty interesting what's developing there. I know. So let's just dive into the CJ McCollum trade there, Quis. In terms of, are you kind of relieved or are you bummed?
I'm extremely relieved. Like you said yesterday, I was not a fan of the CJ move. I didn't think the Knicks going after CJ would have really moved the needle for us and where we're trying to go long term. In the near term, it would have probably we would have seen some results. But I'm looking at this team and how are we going to build towards a championship contender. And I think when we reach that goal, I don't see CJ McCollum being a part of the roster or on the team, because I don't see it happening in the next year or two. It's probably going to take another 3-4 years of us continuing to build the culture, continuing to bring in young assets and young players and trying to develop that way. So to go and try to expedite the process, bringing in a CJ McCollum, a player who really couldn't get it done, next to a Damian Lillard, and then try to put him next to a guy like Julius Randle, who is a step down from Damian Lillard, and to kind of expect better results, I really didn't see it. So I'm relieved. Honestly, I don't think the Pelicans made a bad move in terms of what they gave up. They gave up a protected first, 2 seconds, and Josh Hart, who has been playing well this season. He's one of the rebounding guards out there, can knock down the 3. But you look at the other players, Satoransky, he fell out of favor in that lineup, and you look at Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's a young player, has some promise. But if I'm the Pelicans, I'm looking at it as I brought in CJ McCollum, I can pair him with Brandon Ingram, and eventually Zion will come back. So that trio right there, I think, you can definitely make some waves. But to pair CJ with Julius Randle and RJ, I really didn't see it as something that would, take us to where we're trying to go.
Yeah. I wasn't, excited about it as a long-term move. I kind of saw it as just like something to kind of try and recapture the momentum that we had last season. And then when you think about Derrick Rose coming back, that would be an interesting backcourt. I think the Knicks, it would have really helped the team a lot for the remainder. What do we have? 27 games?
Something in that ballpark.
Yeah. So I think it could have helped us get into the play-in, and then you never know with some momentum, and then there's injuries on other teams. We could have maybe, who knows, maybe gotten into the actual playoffs.
Could have been in the mix.
Could have been in the mix, and there is value to that. I see more value to that, I think, than a lot of other people, which is fine. It's not a neither here nor there situation. And then I thought, you know what? He's an asset. Maybe then we can actually flip him later, possibly. So I wasn't that crushed that deal didn't happen, but then later on,
gut punch.
It was a punch. Yeah. It was that kind of like when you accidentally hit yourself in the Adam's apple.
When you stub your shin on the bedside.
Yep.
One of those.
Yep. Or you accidentally like flick a testy. Woo! That's how that
felt. Catch it in the zipper or something.
Yeah, exactly, man. Ow! Woj dropped a testicle nut crushing bomb on the Knicks. The Pacers traded Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb twice, apparently, to Sacramento for Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. Nobody knew Tyrese Halliburton was even actually available. Did anyone even bother asking for them?
There were reports that both Fox and Halliburton were available. Then there were also reports that they took them off the trade market or off the trade block. But I've been saying I like Halliburton. That's the guy that we should have been pursuing in Sacramento as opposed to De'Aaron Fox. And this one really hurt because, like you said, there were reports that Halliburton was available, but who really thought that the Kings would decide to move on from him so soon, especially with the way he's been playing in his first 2 seasons here in the league. So This one hurt me. I felt like the Knicks could have offered a similar package. You know, if you would have included Julius Randle, then you would have brought in a player in Halliburton that I thought could play beside a RJ Barrett and fit the trajectory of this team. She's a similar age as the guys that are already part of our young core, and it would have been a nice addition to this team. You know, you'd have had to bring in Buddy Hield, but even his contract, you know, there's another 2 years on his deal, or 2 or 3 years, but you know, it gets cheaper as the contract goes on, so you can live with that, and hopefully at some point, if he doesn't perform, you can move on from it. But to see the Pacers do it, and you know, now we're gonna have to deal with them in our conference, sucks.
Yes, and now he's going to be paired with Duarte, the other guard that we wanted in the draft.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a really tough one for me to swallow. I you know, in some ways, I think, I mean, the Kings, you know, I like Sabonis, and even though we have our own issues with Randle, but Randle, a lot of it is up here. His actual skill on the court. And I'm going to show you guys that he has actually recaptured the 2020 version of himself. So watch out. That might be actually part of the thinking of what's going on with the Knicks. They're like, hey, we're not going to sell our guy short right now. Right now, he's undervalued. He's depressed his value because of the way he's been playing for the majority of the season and the way he's been acting. So they were probably thinking, hey, we can't just give him away. So Pacers step in. But in my opinion, Randle is a much more impactful player than Sabonis is.
Yeah, I won't argue with you on that one.
Yeah,
but George,
if we were middle range, Randle, you know, is not middle range, but mid
mid-tier.
Yeah, mid-tier.
Randle is better than Sabonis. But George, if we were to go and try to set up a deal where it would be Julius Randle and the key piece in that deal coming back to you was Halliburton, you wouldn't say we sold low, would you?
I personally would not. No, I wouldn't.
See, so in this deal, this wouldn't have been an issue where we would sell low if the Kings would be willing to take Randle in a deal.
Yeah,
that's what sucks, because this was not like a middling move for the Pacers in which they didn't get much in return for Sabonis. They got a legitimate guard in Halliburton that could have star potential. So I would include Julius Randle, try to reset the expectations for the team this season before it becomes too much and we don't have the talent to really live up to it. That would have been the way I would have gone, because this would have been the perfect deal for our situation right now, where we're seeing we don't necessarily have the talent to make that push into the playoffs. So let's reset and not do a major, massive rebuild, but a slight reset, moving on from Julius Randle, bringing in a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, and then building around that young core. This would have been the perfect move for us, but unfortunately now the Pacers are the ones doing it.
Yeah. Oh, we got a super chat. We survey 100 people. Thank you so much, man, for your contribution. He asks, I tried this trade on the trade machine and it worked. What y'all think? Randle and Burks for Barnes and Holmes. Do you want to go first?
Well, my issue is I think I don't want to target. If I'm moving off of Randle, it's going to bring in a player that I think could fill the role of point guard of the future. So that's what I'm trying to move off of Randle for. I don't think I would move off of Randle and bring in a wing when we still don't have enough minutes, I think, when healthy, to get Cam in. So that would be my only issue.
Me too. If we had a point guard, like our point guard of the future on our team, I would be looking at something like this. But if Randle's our best asset to trade at the moment, we need to get a point guard in return right now, especially since we actually have Obi waiting in the wings to take over that role, that starting 4 role. And then, you know, maybe in the deal, you do get another 4 as a backup in exchange. But it's an interesting idea. But definitely, I think our need is so great at the number 1 position that right now making trades for other pieces just seems, I don't know, seems
running in place.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's interesting to think that the money works there. It's an interesting one.
I mean, Burks does have to go though.
All right, let's take a moment right now and let's talk about. All right, we have less than 48 hours. We know what the issues are with the Knicks. What do you think the Knicks are actually going to do by 3 p.m. Thursday?
I don't think they're gonna do much, honestly. Like we just said, if any major move is gonna have to involve Julius Randle, and I don't think they're gonna move off of Julius Randle unless they get a point guard in return. I don't see them moving him off, moving him and bringing in another wing, or there's reports that we're gonna extend or try to extend Mitch. So I don't see them trying to bring in a big. So I really see them sitting pat, trying to move off of maybe a Alec Burks or Nerlens Noel or and Kimba, and then just moving forward with the team we have at that point, because already we have players that can get into the rotation and play solid defense, give a maximum effort. And we got players like Deuce still not getting any run. Sims, he's gonna get some run today because Mitch, like we said earlier, has the bad backs, not gonna play. Nerlens Noel, he's pretty much part-time at this point. He comes in every other game, and I think that's the direction they should go. But that's the direction I think they should go, and I think that's the direction they're actually going to go, because I don't really see any other moves available to them at this point. Any other move they try to make is not going to make that big of an impact.
So what's your most likely move that you think the Knicks will actually make?
They're going to try to move off of Burks.
Yeah.
There's been reports that they're trying to package Burks with one of their negative assets, like Nerlens Noel or a Kemba Walker. Try to free up some minutes for Cam, because they invested a first-round pick in Cam. So you're going to have to do something at the deadline to get him into the rotation. So that's the move I really see them ending up doing. I don't really see them making any major splash like some of the trades you have up there now.
Gotcha. Best of Worst says Derek White, I still say, is the best option to go after. Dog defender and overall good passer, scorer, and passer. I like him. I don't know if he's like the answer in terms of the point guard of the future for us, but he's definitely he's a really good defender. Actually, I like him.
If you want me to say what I want the Knicks to do, I want them to go and try.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I think I here's the thing. When I saw that the Knicks had this legit interest in CJ McCollum, I immediately felt, you know what?
I hope you panicked.
Did I panic?
I hit the panic button.
You hit the panic.
Raise the alarms.
I wasn't as panicked as you. But it did. What did hurt was it made me think that, you know what, they're going to hang on to Randle. Randle's not getting traded by February 10th.
Yeah, that's why I hit the panic button.
Yeah. So that was tough. So once I realized, okay, that means Randle's staying, then what are we going to do? Where are we going to get that point guard? And so then that's why the CJ McCollum, you know what? Maybe this is kind of like a way to get around needing an actual bona fide point guard. We do point guard by committee. We do have RJ. We do have Randle, who has very high usage rates. And you throw CJ in there, and then Derek comes back. I thought, okay, maybe this kind of might work, but it wasn't in line with this, because I'm with you. I want to go with the youth. This is it. And in my opinion, last year accelerated our timeline, but then Julius let us down because he didn't really turn out to really be a number one guy.
Let's be fair. It's not just Julius. It's the front office.
Yes.
Julius let us down. Front office put players that haven't performed to the levels that we expected around him. So it's been a mixture of those two things. And Tibbs, his rotations hasn't helped as well.
It feels like almost everything has kind of gone wrong.
Everything, yep.
Except for
we could have survived one of those things going wrong, but all three of them,
right? Our free agent signings. I mean, other than Derrick Rose, and even that you can kind of say went wrong as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's missed eight weeks.
He's missed more games than he's played.
Exactly. So,
and the deal just started.
Right. Every single free agent signing has actually not really worked out. I mean, Fournier has come the closest. He actually his actual 3-point numbers are tremendous right now. He's really been delivering from that point. But we know what defensively, he's a huge liability.
Mm-hmm. He's making boneheaded plays time after time in the clutch, and you're like, "Hey, bro, you were the leader on Team France in some high pressure moments, and you're kind of faltering for us. It kind of sucks."
Yeah, but and a lot of it is when you combine Randle and Fournier together to try to make plays in the fourth quarter in crunch time, it's
It's a recipe for disaster.
totally recipe for disaster.
And then you add in Alec Burks inbounding the ball.
Yeah, exactly. It's because we have guys that are talented and they have certain abilities, but they're not being cast in the right role for them.
Mm-hmm.
And who makes that decision?
Thibs.
Yeah. Let's talk about Thibs for a few minutes. What would your grade for Thibs be? Be really objective. Try to, be really objective. What's your overall grade for Thibs this season?
Overall,
I mean, think about everything. Think about, the COVID.
all encompassing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Leon giving him these players.
I'd say a D+.
A D+.
D+, yep. Because I still need, because there's still grounds for termination and bringing in a new coach. I can't give him a C. So C was off the table. So I'll give him a D+. He gets the D+ because, like you said, Leon Rose really didn't give him the players to excel this season. But outside of that, I still think a lot of it is on Tom Thibodeau, because Tom Thibodeau, I don't think he's responded to Julius Randle and the way he's kind of had his meltdown this season. I don't think he's handled some of the young players on this roster the right way. I don't think he's been mixing and matching a lot of the players on this team together in the right rotation. So a lot of that falls on Tibbs. And if they were to decide to move on at the end of the season, I wouldn't object. So just off those bases, off that basis right there, I'd have to give him a D+.
You know what?
Because a C is passing.
If you would
not passing by a lot, but it's passing.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think a D+ might be.
Well, D+ kind of passing too.
The D+ is passing, but it's not.
Well, I was in one of the allied health fields, so a D and a C you don't get past. You got to have at least like a stadium. Yeah. Those are off a little bit. My fault.
C-, D+. They're still below the median, the half, which is where we are. We're in the bottom third of the league. So I think a D is pretty on par. Wow. So the coach of the year, the two-time coach of the year, who miraculously transformed this team last season into a 4th seed, 41 wins, is now a D+ coach.
Are we grading his entire tenure, or are we just
no, just this season? Just this season.
Yeah. So this season, I'm not even focused on what he did last season.
Yeah. Last season is irrelevant.
What you did as a freshman is not going to reflect on what you're doing here as a sophomore.
Yeah, no, right. It's not we're not doing GPA here.
We're not doing GPA. This is one class.
It's 1 year at a time. Exactly. Yeah, I gotta say, and I am a Thibsian. I really like Thibs. I respect him. Obviously, I did a lot of research on him. I appreciate what he brings to the game. I like some of the old schoolness about him, but he also is an analytics guy as well. He's got that great history with D Rose. He helped transform Noah into, defensive player of the year. A lot of players love him, even though there is issues with some other players and stuff. So I liked him. I thought he was good. He has helped establish the winning culture here. It's unfortunate that sometimes adversity reveals character. It reveals not your true character. And last year, he really didn't experience adversity. COVID, we were barely hit by COVID last year. Rose and Burks hit us, and actually they did impact us. But that was it, right?
For the most part.
Yeah. Injuries, just less than most people. I think he kind of had a charmed year last year, and he was able to really get as much out of that team as he possibly could, and he did an excellent job. And I mean, that was a great last 2 months of the season last year. Yeah. That was one of the great
hell of a run.
It
was so good of a run that it kind of fed into the start of this season, and then when everything went downhill, it just completely threw everything off the rails.
Yeah. And do believe that a lot of that comes from Randle. Oh, I think we missed
Yeah, you have a
a
super
super
chat.
chat. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I get so wrapped up. We get so wrapped in talking about
Yeah,
this. Thank you so much, Brendel. Not trading Julius or Evan is wasting a pick on Cam. Tibbs won't give him minutes. Could have used that pick to trade with the Kings. Woo!
could have.
Yep.
But then again, we got a boatload of picks, so
We do have a lot of picks.
that's just
But still,
Leon Rose and them being stingy.
I appreciate what he's saying. I mean, there's still, 30 something hours left in the trade deadline. We could still be using that number one pick for something.
Yep, something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
But
Okay,
I always wondered I'm sorry. Let's not.
No, I was going to go into Randle. I do believe that at the center of the majority of the issues, it's like a ripple effect. Randle dropping, it was like a stone in a pond, and it just rippled throughout all the other players and the team and the coach. And I do believe that it's actually not his actual ability. I don't think that I think that the version of Randle that we saw last season, and we talked about this actually yesterday. I mean, you don't perform like that at that level if it's not within you. Now, can you do it, under the pressure of a full arena and all that jazz or whatever? We're seeing that maybe not. But I think the real Randle is somewhere between that Larry Bird level of Randle last season and what he had been this season. And we're beginning to see it in the last 4 games. In fact, I'm going to show you these stats here. But I think if Thibs had been able to connect with Randle in a meaningful way and basically snap him out of his funk earlier, he might have been able to avoid all this stuff. And I think that's been his worst coaching that's been his weakest aspect of his coaching this season, the way he's been handling Randle. I don't know. What's your feeling about Thibs and Randle?
I mean, Randle might have snapped out of his funk, but we're still losing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to it than just Randle and
I know we're playing better teams.
Playing well. That is true.
Yeah.
But then again, we did lose to the Jazz without their second best player.
Yeah. And we had a monster game from Mitch.
Yep. Monster performance.
So this is interesting. This is Randle and Barrett's stats for the last 4 games. Look, RJ's averaging almost 40 minutes per game. And I put that in there because I think that's actually impacted his efficiency. We saw how it hurt him in that actually yesterday, the second half. It hurt him. He totally disappeared. So Julius is averaging 24.3 points per game, almost 11 rebounds per game, 6.3 assists. So he's back up into that area, which is like last year. This is exactly what last year's numbers were. Field goal percentage, 47.3. The 3-point shot has improved. He was down in 20. He was shooting like 20-something%. Now he's up to 33.3. But yet his plus minus is a minus 2.8 for those 4 games. Now, RJ, almost 40 minutes per game, he's playing 22.3 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 3.3 assists. But look at the field goal percentages, 38.1%, 24.1%, not that efficient. But the plus minus, the plus 1.8. If RJ's efficiency could rise, but still maintain that same kind of output in terms of points and assists, maybe this team can begin to turn the corner. Unfortunately, we have a tough schedule coming for us. But
make a break time.
Yeah. What does this kind of like make you think about Quis in terms of where these guys are going?
I mean, I didn't even, you put it on to me that RJ was shooting that poorly from 3. I didn't even realize it. It's just we're in a tough spot, I think, right now. Luckily, RJ is showing some signs of him blossoming, but if you look at what Tibbs is doing, Tibbs has him out there for forever. You see, he's averaging 40 some odd minutes per game, and you would think that he kind of dialed it back a little bit. Like you said, if he's a little bit more efficient, we would see a better version of RJ. But, I like the fact that he's averaging 6 rebounds per game. I like the fact that we're starting to run the offense through him a little bit more, and I think that has helped us with the ball movement somewhat. And I think he'll figure it out. But at the end of the day, he's still young. He still takes bad shots at times, but he'll figure it out. Now with Julius Randle, I mean, I like the fact that he's got his points per game back up to 24.3. He's averaging a double-double with the 10 rebounds.
Yeah, dude, he was down by 18, 17 points a game for a good long stretch. I mean, I'll tell you, the previous 11 games, before these 4 games, Randle was averaging 14.6 points per game, 9.2 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 37.6 field goal percentage, 23.5 3-point percentage, a minus 5.6. That was the previous 11 games to these 4. RJ in the previous 11 was 22.9 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 2.3. Oh, actually, turnovers per game. He was at 2.3, 44.3 field goal percentage, and 43.1 from the 3-point line. That was RJ, but a minus 5.7. So, it's almost like they've reversed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But is that the type of team we want to see, where we're once again led by Julius Randle?
No. Come on.
That's why I was hoping we were going to be able to move on from him and at least let RJ step into the spotlight a little bit more. I don't think Tibbs is doing him a favor playing him that many minutes. I don't think Tibbs is doing both of them favors. To have Randle start the game playing the entire first, and then you have instances where he's playing the entire third. It just throws off the rotations completely.
Absolutely. That's why he gets a D+. It's his actual rotations. People say, "Oh, but what?" No. Things have ramifications. You play a guy 50 minutes in one game, you can't be surprised when he has nothing to give you in a fourth quarter 2 nights later.
Mm-hmm. Or in that same game.
He did recover. He did recover, but his efficiency just totally went nowhere. They can't finish. He makes mistakes. That's how turnovers happen. We wonder why we have a lot of turnovers in the fourth quarter. Well, it's because our guys are tired.
You hear the announcers, that tired legs out there.
Yeah.
Hitting the front of the rim.
Mike Breen said it. They're gassed right now. And they were. Mm-hmm. Last night, they had nothing in that fourth quarter. And the Jazz could feel it. That's the other thing, too. When you see your opponent looks tired and winded, it just emboldens you. Even if you're tired, it gives you a jolt of energy. You're like, wow, he's tired. I'm going to try and take advantage of him. Yeah, Thibs, he's got to get the minutes thing together. It's been a problem. He's got to figure it out.
Front office isn't helping him out either. No,
not at all. All right, let's take a moment to shout out to the chat. Thank you everyone for joining us. We have 204.
Hey, nice. Is that a high for you?
I think so. And now it's 213. Awesome. It's wonderful. Thank you guys for joining us.
That's a high. We got to give you a round of applause.
Yeah. Hit the thumbs up, guys, when you get a chance. We really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed to Into the Knicks-Verse or to Sports Vibes TV, please do so. And if you're new, just drop a hashtag new in the chat there. It'd be awesome to shout you guys out. Hey, Lex, thank you, man. Thank you for joining us, man. 10-man rotation will do that to you. Yes. Yeah, man.
You got teams like the Warriors playing 11-12.
Yep. And then you have the Bulls. Look at Ayo Dosunmu. Yeah, he's playing great because he's been given a chance.
I've been saying it for a while, man. The Chicago Bulls are allowing him to go out there, and it's not great 100% of the time. He's a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes, but for the most part, he's providing them value, and he's finding more and more minutes out there on the court, especially with Caruso and Lonzo going down.
Yeah.
And he got drafted, 2 spots after Deuce?
Yeah.
Ayo was 30, or...
I can't remember where Ayo went. I had Ayo going 30th in my mock, so I can't. To me, that's where he went in my mock draft.
when you say goes,
yeah, I was like, he went 30th. Randle scoring 30 points is a ball hog. I can't tell if that's sarcasm.
Yeah, he went 38th, and Deuce went 36th.
He went 30th.
No, 38th.
38th. Okay.
Yeah, 8th pick in the second round.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Like, Deuce. Here, the crazy thing is, we keep losing, and yet nothing
Still
changes.
won't play him.
Still won't play him. And we don't have a starting point guard.
And he's killing in the G League.
Killing it in the G League. But like Foxy says, it's not the same. It's not apples.
It's not the same, but still.
Yeah.
He's showing some skills down there in the G League. He's showing that he can at least contribute and help out. I'm not saying because he's, dropping 30-point triple doubles in the G League that he's going to come and do the same thing in the NBA, but he can at least contribute, man. We got Alec Burks we're running out there playing point. And not only is, us doing that is throwing off Alec Burks in his game, hurting his trade value, and it's not allowing us to put Deuce in to get some run.
So why do you think Thibs does that?
Because he's hard-headed.
But he wants to win. I mean, we know that he wants to win.
He wants to win, but he wants to win in his way. And that's going through relying on his vets heavily and then sprinkling the young players in and around that.
Wow. Well, that's somebody who has an inability to pivot when they see that something is not working. They're just blinders on. They don't want to accept the reality of what's happening in front of them.
Well, when was the last time you saw Thibs pivot?
The last time I saw him pivot was when he benched Kemba.
He was forced to do that at that point.
Yeah, because Kemba was just...
Yeah.
But nothing's really changed except for those, those 4 games that Kemba had any one player of the week, ironically. Yeah. So you think Cam... You think here's the thing. If we don't make... Here's what I fear. And you know this, because we've talked about this. We talked about this a while ago. I have a feeling that there's a possibility because of the way things have been trending. Because also there was a report that there's zero interest in Burks right now.
Look at how he's played. I think, what was it? One of the Sunday streams, I mentioned his numbers in January. Brutal.
Exactly. And then on top of that, like you said, we want to attach another contract to him.
Exactly. So, and then you have the coach playing him out of position to further hurt his value.
Exactly.
And that's why I keep saying the front office and the coaching staff, it doesn't seem like they're on the same page.
So it's creating a big problem because now we need to clear up a spot because Cam has to play, but now we've depressed the value of these vets, except for Fournier. But I have a feeling,
I think we depressed his value too. What was that article in The Athletic? It said that most of the contracts on the Knicks are kind of viewed negatively at the moment.
Yep, and that's true, and that's a big problem. So we're stuck. We might be stuck with the team we have currently right now, and then unless we're
giving people away.
Yeah, the only thing I think that might actually happen is we might actually find a home for Kemba. Or just let him go. Cut him.
Well, they were talking about a deal to Charlotte, right? What was it? Yeah. Ish Smith, a 2nd-round pick.
Which I'm down for that. How about you?
Yeah, anything for Kemba at this point, And I hope it works out for him. Send him over to Charlotte. That's the team that drafted him, and they're in playoff contention.
Thank you, Lewis Wilkinson. Try and get rid of Randle, start Obi, and bring Luka from G League to play power forward off bench. I'm down for that.
Yeah. Let's see what Luka can do. Is he back from injury?
I don't know, but he will be eventually. I mean, how long? He's been out a while now, right? Almost a month.
Let's see.
Wait, I just got an alert about something. Oh, no. Not it.
You playing tag?
Yeah. All right, let's jump in. Let's do a little previewing of the I love that suggestion, Lewis. Absolutely. Like mines here. Like mines. Buy Kemba out. We'll probably buy Kemba out. That's what I'm hoping. So we buy Kemba out. We open our rosters up, but then remember, Derrick Rose is coming. So we really do need to move Burks. We absolutely need to move Burks.
We really need to move 2 people.
We do. Well, that's what I was thinking. Kemba, we buy him out.
And then, you're right.
And then trade Burks.
And attach Burks to somebody. You're right.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, though, even though despite Burks being forced to play out of position and him being in a kind of a funk right now, people know, hey, look, this guy's a 10-year vet. You know, he's, you know, we know he's a clutch guy. He really belongs coming off the bench or playing off ball, not be the primary ball handler. I think people will see, the league is smart. You know, they'll see that he still has value and they'll pull a trade. The thing is, the Knicks may just have to abandon the idea of attaching a contract to him.
To him.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. That's what I'm thinking.
And then that means we're stuck with Noel.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future. And he's hurt now. So it's gonna be even harder to try to move off of him.
Yeah. That's right. Sims is gonna probably get some play tonight.
He has to.
Yeah.
Only other center we
have.
You
don't know. Look, we say that, but we have Sims as a coach.
You're right. We said the same thing yesterday.
For all we know, it'll be Taj plays 48. Oh man. All right, so the Knicks versus Nuggets, playing against one of my very favorite players in the game, probably of all time, Nikola Jokic. I just love watching this guy. His passing. I saw him make a pass. Was it the last night or the night before? He dribbled into the paint. It was on the left side of the block. Immediately got double teamed, but there was a guy behind him. And I think it was Aaron Gordon was also behind him. He pivoted, and the way he couldn't actually pass it to Gordon. So what he did was he just lobbed the ball over. So the ball bounced in that corner, right by the corner 3-point area, just gently bounced, and it bounced up in front of Gordon. Gordon was facing with his back to the hoop. So the ball was like a pass, like an end zone pass. Just do it. And I was like, wait a second. I had to rewatch it like 3 times. I was like, he did that on purpose. That kind of brilliance, man. We have nothing. We have nothing other. I mean, Derrick Rose is the only thing that comes close on this team to somebody like that in terms of just incredible creativity and vision. I mean, he's just fantastic. So if we're able to keep close tonight and pull this game out, it would be a humongous win for the Knicks. But
yeah, this would be encouraging. If we're able to win this game, no Mitchell Robinson, no Nerlens, and going up against Jokic and somehow find a way to win, I gotta applaud this team.
Yeah.
You got to stand up. From my home, I'm standing up applauding them from the
absolutely. It could, if we win tonight, it could be the biggest win of the season by far. I mean, look at these numbers. They're averaging almost 117 points per game.
I mean, they're giving up 111. No.
Yeah, they're giving up 111. Yeah. But, you know, the league average is about 110. So it's only a little bit over the league average, and we're a little bit below the league average right now. This is the last 10 games, too, by the way. But look at that differential. It's crazy. The field goal percentage. Aaron Gordon is a problem. This is a good team. Look at the assist. 29.3. Almost 30 assists per game in the last 10 games. They're 6-4. We're 2-8 in the last 10 games. Oh, that hurts, man. I want to get a read on the chat here. What do you guys think? Thank you guys for joining us so much. It's been awesome. Let me let's take a little moment here to look at some of the chat here. Why is Mitch Rob out?
Because he hurt his back carrying us last night. So
yeah,
he sore back. He won't be available tonight. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I didn't
see him tweak his back though. Did you see him tweak his back, or was something? Maybe he woke up with just a sore back.
He might have just woken up. I mean, he was contorting himself all game long. So I wouldn't be. You know, it's one of those things like if the game was tomorrow, he probably would have played. Just coming out tonight, then he could really get hurt, and then it's worse. And you know, he's playing
going up against Jokic, and he's gonna have to be out there on the perimeter.
Exactly. I'm fine. You know what? He gave us everything he had yesterday. Give the guy a night off tonight. He earned it.
So how do you think Tibbs is going to approach this now with Jokic out? I mean, not Jokic out, with Mitch out.
With Mitch
and Nerlens out. And now having to rely on Taj.
I think what he's going to do is he's going to basically, that first 8 minutes of the first quarter is going to dictate everything. If the team is playing well, if spacing is good, remember the one advantage of having Taj out there is the paint is going to be a little more open on the offensive end, which is good for guys like Randle and RJ. We'll be able to drive. I imagine Burks is going to start. So, actually, we don't know. We don't know.
Kimba might start.
We don't know, but we still don't have an announcement.
Dragging their feet.
If you guys have heard the Knicks starting lineup, just post it in the chat. We really appreciate that. We do. We have a super chat here.
We
All right,
surveyed
man.
100 people.
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Yes. Husband in the making, $5. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Start McBride. Don't play Kemba if not traded. Limit Noel's minutes because he is hobbling, and do a 12-man rotation because we have the players. Hallelujah.
I mean, they're limiting Noel's minutes. He's not playing tonight at all.
Yeah, that's how he's limiting his own minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Expanding to a 12-man rotation for the last 27 games is a smart idea. I mean, you're not playing. I mean, at this point, come on. To think that we're going to get to the play-in without making any moves at this moment is a pipe dream at this moment, I think. However, Bradley Beal is out for the rest of the year. The Wizards are the team above us. So it's really a battle of the Knicks and who are the other two teams for that play-in spot? I want to make sure, that's kind of screwing things up for us. Yeah, Charlotte and Atlanta. Charlotte and Atlanta, because the Wizards are going to drift down after losing Bradley Beal. But I agree. I think that's part of the key would be expanding the rotation. That would be fabulous.
And hoping the Hawks play a lot of Kevin Knox.
Yes. Joseph John, thank you, man. Thank you so much for your contribution. I honestly think if we had a flexible coach, we would have a better record. Yeah, we agree. We gave Thibs a D+, so we agree. Fire Thibs, go for Atkinson from Golden State next year, plus 15 wins guarantee. I almost want to do a screen grab of this. I'm doing it. Screen grab of that. Well, yesterday, actually, Quis and I, we both said that Kenny Atkinson would probably be, at the moment, our number one choice to take, if they do move on from Thibs, right, to take over for next season. You still feel that way?
Yeah, I think Kenny would be my choice. Yeah, I still feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. So did we hear yet on the starting rotation? No. Oh, here we go. Yes. Kemba's back.
Hey, we surveyed 100 people, holding it down as always.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate your support. You also said something funny too, but I can't find it now. I was scrolling.
Oh, did he?
Oh, he said, George, you're going to see a lot of those highlights tonight. Yeah, the Jokic highlights.
Oh, the Jokic. Yeah. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It was just watch his passing tonight. You'll see what an incredible passer he is. I wish we had a stretch five on this team. Now, there's very few that can pass like him. In fact, I mean, in the history of the game, there are very few who can pass like him. But in terms of a stretch five, man, that would be awesome. We talked about this the other day, where Mo Bamba, Jalen Smith would be nice as a young guy to pick up. Who else? Have you thought of anybody else that might be an interesting stretch five?
I think just those two. I think the other ones you look at are probably a little bit older, don't really fit our timeline, or not available.
Yeah. New Yorker says we miss Woody. Fact. Yeah, it's funny, right? You appreciate some people more when they're gone. Yeah. No, he was
sad but true.
Yeah, he was respected while he was here. I never felt like, he's the guy. We're gonna take us to the promised land. It didn't feel like that, but in hindsight, he definitely did a great job with what he had. All right, I think the game is going to start pretty soon.
Oh, shoot, it's 9:06.
Yeah, the New York Knicks are 24-30. Will we avoid our 31st loss this year? We had 31 losses last season. That was it. Are we going to be able to avoid? Oh, again, the eternal optimist, I still feel that, for example, like I showed you these stats here, if Julius can give you this game, a game in line with these stats, and RJ can give us a game in line with the stats that he had for the previous 11, where he shot 43%.
Previous 11.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, if they can get it all together.
I was waiting to see where you were going to go with that. I was like, because if he's shooting 38% and 24% from three, it's going to be rough.
It's going to be rough. I know, but I'm saying if they both have a good game, if those two guys both have a great game, actually the Knicks could beat anybody at any night. That's something I definitely do agree with Julius on that, and RJ. They both feel that way. Let's hope. But it'd be a nice break, to have a solid game, 48 minutes where these two guys play fabulously both and everyone else just follows along and we steal this game. Come on. It can happen.
And then you wake up tomorrow morning to the headlines, Julius Randle traded.
But for who? That's the thing but for who now? Who is the young point guard?
You have DeJounte Murray. That's my guy. SGA.
Murray.
But I don't think Randle fits with any of those teams.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
That was the big
Kings
bummer.
were really the team that we could actually say, all right, there's a fit.
Yeah. God. Oh man. Let's see. Let's jump through some here. Hey, Brother Contreras, welcome, brother. Good to see you here. I'll said no between movement and defense. That could be problem, George. Yeah. No movement. We stopped moving in that third quarter of the Laker game. And that one. And then in the fourth quarter, in the Utah game, that ISO ball thing is just not.
Doesn't work for us.
It's not a strategy. It's a fallback when your initial play doesn't work out. But several times there I saw where it took so long to get the ball across the half-court line. By the time Julius got the ball, he had 10 seconds in his to do anything, and then he held it for 4 seconds. That's just not good offense.
Yep. You take too long, man. When we pick up the pace, we're hard to defend. Yeah. But for some reason they Julius likes to bring it up slow, dribble, and then decide to get into whatever he wants to do. Which usually ends in a sprint and a turnover.
4 fast break points yesterday. And that was the first game of a back-to-back. Tonight they're going to be literally walking up the court. They're so tired.
Yep.
Let's hope that. Let's hope not.
It'll be an interesting game, that's for sure. But hopefully we see something.
Yeah.
Cam gets some minutes. I'm just interested in seeing what we do without Mitch.
Yeah, God, he's
really give us an idea of Mitch's value.
Hey, well, you and I are huge Mitch fans. I'm so happy for Mitch. He's really delivering on the promise of what we always thought he could be. And remember last season before he got hurt, what he was starting to do.
Yep.
I was worried he was going to get hurt when he already had a double-double by halftime. And I was like, oh no, he's going to get hurt again.
Right?
Yeah.
What was that game? That was the Pistons last season where he had the double-double at halftime?
Was it? I think I blocked that out of my head, but yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, there's let's see, Thibodeau. I didn't even read this. I'm gonna throw it up. What's up, Sko? Good to see you here, man. Thibodeau probably trying to sabotage Leon Rose to get general manager position. Woo. That's the nasty right there. There'd be some nastiness.
Maybe vice versa. Maybe Rose is setting up Thibodeau to get his coach in there.
Could be.
Or another coach.
Could be. New Yorker Rose is going to help. Yes, he is. No doubt. We miss him. Carlo Pimpinelli. Pimpinella. Sorry. I'm curious if we had a different coach, who would be our starting 5? Definitely not Burks would be in it. Definitely not Kemba.
It wouldn't be Burks.
It wouldn't be Kemba. It might not even be Fournier. Another coach might actually no, I'm going to bring you off the bench.
You never know, though. But maybe another coach might be able to find a way to utilize Kemba to a point where he can still, be a starting point guard in the league.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what another team is able to do with Kemba, find ways to use him.
Yeah, true. That's really true.
Yeah. Point guard would still be an issue, but if I had an idea, it would probably be, RJ at the 2, Cam at the 3, Randle at the 4, and then Mitch at the 5. The only place where you have real concerns would be point guard of what the head coach might do. He might decide to start Derrick Rose. He might not say Derrick Rose only can come off the bench. Maybe he might start, even though Quick has been struggling. Quick could be an option if he likes the way he performs out there. And then you also have Deuce. So one of those 3 could be a way a new coach would go if they didn't want to go with Kemba.
Yeah, I can see that. Gabriel Faid. If you guys could pick one realistic player to chase before the deadline, who you rocking with?
Murray.
Realistic?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just heard chase before the deadline. I mean, me personally, I'm not chasing anybody here at the deadline. I'm trying to ship these guys out of town. Burks has to go free up some space. Nerlens Noel. I'm not trying to. We already have issues with.
Yeah,
I
would have said Fox before the Halliburton trade. That's the thing. The problem with the Halliburton trade, it took Fox off. In one trade, it took two guys off the table that really made sense for this team. They weren't perfect, but nothing ever is perfect. You hope that they can develop into it. But yeah, I would have been right now. I actually don't know. Seriously, Gabriel, I don't know who I would chase.
I don't think we're in the position to
Other
chase
than
players.
Like
we shouldn't be buyers right now.
Yeah, but I know what he means. He means like just realistic. Like if we add somebody, like I would say like a Mo Bamba. I would like I think he's realistically available. I think we have the assets to get him. That I would like to see that trade, and it's not necessarily for this year that trade. It's for the future. Yeah, that's probably someone realistically I would be into at the moment. But I did see some other something else that someone put here. I'm going to put it up before we sign off because the game is starting. This is an interesting one here. Randle for Patrick Williams, Kobe White, and salary filler.
I don't see Kobe White as the point guard of the future, though.
No, but he's an asset.
He's an asset, but like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm moving on from Randle. If I can bring in a point guard, other than that, I'll live with the devil I know.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm not as adverse to this idea as I think there might be something in there. We have to get off Randle.
George says, send me all your mock Randle trades. I want to see everyone.
Basically, yeah, exactly.
We'll find one that'll work.
Thaddeus Young at this moment. I mean, no, but I actually think Randle's actually going to have a pretty nice remaining half of the season. I'm beginning to see flashes. And as you can see, the numbers bear it out right there. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been a great show. Quis, thank you so much, man. Want to say anything to the chat before we sign off?
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the support. It's been a rough season, but you guys have showed up in numbers to both pregame shows on my channel and George's channel. So I want to say thank you guys for definitely holding us down and supporting us through a rough season.
Yeah, it's been an unexpectedly rough season for us. I didn't think we'd be. Obviously, I was predicting us to do much better, but it's been really challenging. It's been challenging, and every game gets harder and harder. It feels like that's why it would be nice to steal this game tonight. And the Knicks are already tied 8-8.
Back-to-back heartbreak losses. One against the Lakers, and then last night against the Jazz.
Brutal. Brutal. And there's more to come. They're still on the road. We go to Golden State.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. We shall see. All right, guys.
I'm looking to see what guys are doing.
Oh, did I miss a super chat? Oh, I'm sorry, man. What was it? Just put it in there. We'll get to it.
Let me scroll.
Sorry, brother.
Was it Joseph?
You know what? I couldn't have, my computer was really slow, so I didn't have the other window open on the side. For some reason, it was really slow. See. Yeah, let me get to it because I don't want.
Who said it? Evan Best?
Yes.
Yeah, Evan Best. He sent a super chat. He said Randle got his money and praise, and it ruined him. He turned into a diva, and it hurt us. Chemistry is gone, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happened. Yeah, I don't understand it. I deepest apologies for that, man. I've had problems with my computer today. And
no problem. Thank you for letting us know before we signed off. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And I agree. Randle got his money. He started feeling himself too much. He got distracted by other things in life. And
the glitz and the glamour.
Yep. And basically, he's let us down this season tremendously.
Big time.
Tremendously, yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Let's hope we steal this game tonight. It's already tied 14-all. That's 7-13 in the first quarter. That's nice. And we will see you around the Knicks-Verse.